Hello, my name is FreeHappyDolphin and welcome to Verdict, where I evaluate new games and rank them on the leaderboard. Originally, these evaluations came together with 100-minute dive episodes, where I share 100 minutes of gameplay from streams on Twitch. However, from now on, Verdict will be a separate series. So let's rank F1 Manager 24. First category of our evaluation is engagement in short-term scale. Well, what can I say about it? It's engaging. If you're looking at this game, most likely you are an F1 fan or at least know a bit about the sport, and this game currently is the best representation of it you can get. Building a car, managing a team, guiding races in real sport manner is all what F1 fan would want. And from this year, storylines feels even easier, since you can create your own team. Of course, because this game represents itself as a simulation, we can start to be nitty-picky and find things that must be different. From things like practicing session being just a few minigames without any real-world detail in it, to simple bugs that date from 2022. Everything drags fun out of a what's supposed to be ultimate realistic F1 manager simulation. Don't take my word for it. Fans of a game that play the game as soon as 1 week after release judge it pretty harshly, with reviews being mixed on Steam and lurking around only 60% positive. I really like this to be perfect F1 simulation, but it's not yet. 3.5 out of 5. Next is long-term replayability and complexity. The game's replayability in the calendar is capped at a single year, since a new version is released annually. Publisher's model doesn't seem to keep players engaged beyond this time frame, encouraging you to pay for a few new features each year. But how much these features enhance long-term and interesting careers? This year is a bit better with addition of affiliate drivers, mechanical failures that should make your game more random, and potential regulation changes from the past. However, I still find it hard to imagine anyone spending 10 or 20 seasons on one save. The number might be around 5, but sometimes even that isn't enough for the affiliate drivers feature to have a significant impact. Sure, you can replay some real races, and the new mentality system gives you one more thing to juggle, but it doesn't scale enough to make a big difference. 3 out of 5. Now into visuals and audio. You might think there is F1 24 racing game, so since in manager title you don't drive and everything is about players looking at races, it must be good or at least better in this category than racing game. Well, it's not, and I would say it's not even close. Sure, it did improve in last 3 years, but compared to what games can do these days, it's not impressive. It starts with an opening screen but makes you ask, who draw this? Sound is okay, except the fact that major engineer lines updates cannot really be felt. On the other hand, the developers don't expect us to play long enough to remember those lines or be frustrated with insignificant practice session minigames, since the new game comes out in under a year, right? Now, all of this might sound terrible, but I'm not trying to be overly critical. The game has improved, as it does each year, but for example, last reviewed Cataclysmo and Norland chose the step to not go with graphics masterpiece and make imperfections to follow their style. But when you have a real-world simulation, you pretty much expect it to be perfect. 3 out of 5. I eagerly wish I could give F1 Manager a better score, but unfortunately handling and user interface is not that category. The controls themselves are quite okay. There could be more shortcuts, but there's also not too much to control in the first place. The user interface looks smooth and nice, however there are many bugs, and this is where they really count. A lot of things are left unexplained in the game without a proper tutorial. In-game explanations exist, but they cover concepts broadly, often than they are already clear. There are no in-game pop-ups to explain the little things you might not understand, not to mention that new sponsor system is not well reflected with UI. Same 3 out of 5. Uniqueness and Wow Factor is a brighter side of this game. After all, it is the freshest F1 Manager title on the market and introduces some interesting new concepts. Not all of them are polished or detailed enough to feel like a real simulation, but it's better than nothing. Better than nothing. Perhaps this phrase being a positive thing about the game explains why so many players on game reviews of F1 Manager and Motorsport Manager say that they still choose 8 years old Motorsport Manager over this year's title. That being said, having your own team and manager achievements ties you to your managing career and can create some nice, memorable moments. 4 out of 5. Even though I've already talked about bugs, the negative factors also separately evaluate game stability. Although I haven't personally experienced issues, reviews suggest that the game suffers far bigger problems than just small bugs. The price is also disappointing. Even though this year's price is lower, the changes developers bring each year could easily be a DLC rather than a full release at a current price of 35 euros. Since one factor doesn't seem to be harsh and another has improved, I think it's fair to sum this up to 1 negative star. Somehow, the total doesn't look as terrible as I described in each category. It's 3.3 stars and a 3rd place. Check out other scores in my latest community post. Thank you for watching and see you in the next episode.